The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch is a remake of the first portable Zelda game. Originally on the Game Boy with the Game Boy Color version, this remake is greatly faithful to the original. It is developed and published by Grezzo and Nintendo. Link is found washed ashore upon Colohin Island. It is said that none can leave. After collecting your sword, a great owl tells you where to go next, and soon after that you must collect the 8 instruments to awaken the sleeping windfish, who is currently in a giant egg on top of the mountain. From then on, you explore this new island, coming across various dungeons which contain the instruments you need. The gameplay is mostly that of any 2D Zelda. You have your sword and shield. As you complete dungeons, you will collect new items you can use, such as the feather that allows you to jump, flippers to swim, and so on. These new items let you explore more of the island and thus find the next dungeon, as well as getting to treasures you spotted in previous areas but couldn't reach. Now you have the ability to mark spots on the map for later. If you're familiar with a few Zelda games, most of the normal things are here, such as collecting heart pieces and consumable items like bombs and arrows. One of the things unique to this game are the 2D side-scrolling sections, which are in between staircases. These fit nicely and add to the fun. Enemies can also drop power-ups which either boost your attack or defense for a limited time. Sometimes I could even rush to use it for a few seconds of a boss fight. There are 8 mandatory dungeons to collect the instrument, 1 optional, and some other areas to explore. I definitely recommend doing the color dungeon for the bonus. Like any Zelda game, they're filled with puzzles, mid and big bosses. While the designs might be fairly simple, I did enjoy most of them. The dungeons probably take about half an hour or so if you're new to them. When it comes to the map and dungeon layouts, it is almost entirely the same as the originals. There are various changes to the gameplay. Most noticeable is now you can hold up to 2 items, as we have more than 2 buttons now, while your sword and shield are no longer in the item slot. You can also attack and move diagonally. Those changes in particular make the game a lot easier, as they didn't really change the dungeons around to take this into account. Hero mode is now an option in this game, where you take twice the damage and there are no heart drops. So if you've played the game before, or other 2D Zelda games, you might be better off at least trying that. Just playing normally, I found almost all the bosses to be quite easy. Their weaknesses are usually easy to figure out, except the Armless Knight. For me anyway. The difference in difficulty between the second, last and final boss is a fair bit. Fairies this time just heal you, but you can get some secret medicine from Crazy Tracy which lets you revive after 1 death. Dying isn't really a big deal in this game, other than you lose items you used. Dungeons all have a teleport pad halfway through, so you can easily get back to the bosses. There's also a few side activities. First is Trendy Game, which is a crane game. You can get various rewards such as more rupees, dolls and a heart piece. Mabe Village also has fishing, where a fairy bottle can be caught. Then much later in the game is the raft rides, where you can use your hookshot to try to get as many items as possible before the ride ends, or race to the finish as fast as you can. There are secret seashells in various places along the island. Collecting these lets you turn them in for rewards at the Seashell Mansion. Something new to the remake is chamber dungeons. After the second dungeon you can meet with Dampe, and he will let you arrange rooms from previously completed dungeons to make a new one. At first you did have to build and beat them in certain arrangements, but then you unlock free building. I did enjoy it, but found it better to complete more dungeons so that way I wasn't just doing the same rooms I just did. This is where Amiibo functionality is, and you can read my guide on it through a link in the description. I truly love the art style they've decided to remake this game in. Everything looks toy or clay-like, which adds to the foreign feel of the game, as we aren't in Hyrule anymore, Bow Wow. It also suits the tone of the game, which for the most part is light-hearted, with many talking animals and humorous incidents. This especially helps the Mario enemies present in-game look nice, as there are quite a few such as Chain Chomps, Bloopers and Goombas. With these graphics, it looks like I'm playing in a diorama. Being on vastly superior hardware, you can also see more of an area at a time. I don't like the blur effect that's around the edges of the screen, as it distracted me in the early parts of the game. Almost all of the characters look close to what they did in the original. The only thing I particularly noticed was that the first boss now looks like a burger. Thankfully, the music is a key component of this game. It's all updated but keeps the same tunes. Animal Village now has barking and meows, but somehow is less annoying than the original Animal Crossing's 1PM theme. I especially love the tune that plays whenever you first pick up a new instrument. As it was originally a Game Boy game, it isn't very long. I finished it within 2 dedicated days of playing, with only a few hours of mucking around in-game. There are still many things to do either before or after you beat it, like all the collectibles and the chamber dungeons, so if you take the time to explore it yourself, you will get more out of it. Plus there is the new difficulty option. Regardless, I think it could have been priced just a bit cheaper. While there was a lot of effort into the presentation of this game, it still isn't a new or a long game. Due to the shortness, I found pacing just a bit mixed, as sometimes there would be a while between dungeons, while others you might go straight to the next one. There's also in-game hints, so outside of dungeons you aren't likely to be stuck for long. The game itself is very directed, as you have to beat the dungeons in a particular order, yet I often had fun exploring new areas, some of which I wouldn't need to go for another 1 or 2 dungeons. In this game, I was really able to get a feel of the exploration people talk about when discussing Zelda games, something I've never really felt in 3D Zelda games outside Breath of the Wild. Not everything is essential to beat it, such as I saw other people have the boomerang and I haven't acquired it. Technically, I didn't have many issues. There's a few loading screens and the game can feel a bit slow after coming out of them for a few seconds. If you're playing it in handheld, you'll notice it in more places and for longer. I think most people won't mind that they didn't have any voice acting for this either. Link's Awakening for Nintendo Switch is a gorgeous and fun game. I definitely recommend it for those who haven't played 2D Zelda games especially. The only particular issue I have with it is the price to game ratio. I give The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening an 8 out of 10. Be sure to check out ladiesgamers.com for handheld news and reviews.